We're talking about learning to hear God's voice. And today I want to talk to you about several ways God speaks. 10 ways God speaks. Number one, God speaks to us through the Scripture. This is the primary way God will speak. He tells us all the big issues, what we need to know, what we need to do, what we need to not do. God speaks to us through the Scriptures. That's why you should read it, study it, memorize it. Learn from others, make it a daily part of your life. God speaks to us through the Scriptures. Number two, God speaks through our desires. He puts the desires in our heart. It says that God gives us the desires of our heart. He puts them into us, and then He fulfills them for us. For example, there was a time when I had a really strong desire. I've been pastoring a while. I just got this, I never had it, this really strong desire to teach in a seminary, to teach other pastors. And it was so strong. I couldn't figure out why I had such a strong leaning to do this. And then God worked in several ways. And the next thing I know, I'm end up teaching at a large seminary. I'm the chairman of the department. And God just made it all happen. God put the desire in me first. I got a real hunger to do that. Number three, doors. Sometimes doors close, sometimes doors open. When I was in high school, my plan for my future was I was going to go to college wherever I got the best athletic scholarship. But my senior year, I tore up my knee. All the scholarship offers disappeared. All those where I was going to go to college, I didn't know. I eventually got into a college. I couldn't get in because everything was late getting in. I got into a brand new college that didn't even have a campus yet. They were meeting in the church. They were meeting in buildings around town. But that college became the place where God called me into ministry, to church planning. He trained me, He developed me. He gave me the relationships and opportunities. It's been incredible for me. That wouldn't have happened if He hadn't closed the door to the athletic scholarships through an injured knee. God opens doors, God closes doors. Just so happened that college needed somebody who could do what I could do, which was start a church planning center. That's how I got the opportunity. God knew what He was doing. Number four, dreams. God gives us dreams. I'm not a person that has a lot of God dreams, but some people are. I had a situation where a guy was going to shoot me at my church in Vegas, and I had incredible peace about it. This guy told me he was going to come to church on Sunday night and shoot me, and he never showed up, never happened. I got an email from a lady about a week later saying she had a dream that she was supposed to pray for me, extra special protection because I was in danger. She knew I was in danger before I knew I was in danger because God knew, and God told her through a dream, and she prayed for me and nothing happened. Yay, God. She had a dream, she obeyed. Number five are promptings, nudges from God. I get these often. Talk to this person, say this, do that. I was preaching in Brazil. I was teaching on evangelism. Church was packed out. People from all over the region had gathered. God said, get a get saved invitation. And I'm like, well, this was an evangelism training conference. He's like, give them an opportunity to get saved. So I gave an invitation, and a whole bunch of men got saved. Lots of men. Then He said, do it again. So I gave a second invitation, and a whole bunch of teenagers who'd been outside watching on closed-circuit television, they all came in and got saved. I obeyed the prompting of God because God knew these people were ready to come to Christ. People. God speaks to us through people. Sometimes, there's been times in my life with difficult times, hard times, when God sent a person up to me and said, I think the Lord wants you to know that, and they'll give me a word from God. God uses people. It's very, very helpful when you get that confirmation. And I found every time somebody has really done that, it's been spot on, accurate. Number seven is pain. The famous author, C.S. Lewis, said, God whispers at us in our pleasures, but shouts at us in our pain. He says, pain is God's megaphone. God speaks through pain. Why do we go through pain on this earth? Well, there's lots of reasons, but one of them is God has our attention often in a way He doesn't have it otherwise. Number 8 is nature. Sometimes God uses nature to speak to us. I have a niece that was not a believer. She was invited to a Christian weekend at a lake, and she said, God, if you're real, speak to me. And weird thing formed in the clouds right above the lake. And she said, God, if that's you, have it do this. And it did that. And she knew God was real. She gave her life to Christ, and she's been on fire for Jesus ever since. Yay, God. I had a similar thing happen to me. I was trying to make a big decision. I needed some confirmation. I said, God, I need some confirmation that this is the right decision. This weird thing happened with the wind and a bunch of leaves right in front of me. Never happened before in my life. Never happened since. I said, God, if that's really you, have it do it again. And it did it again. Didn't do it the rest of the weekend. Never done it again in my life. But God used that to help give me confirmation. Vision. When I was 18, 19, 20, I had this vision of preaching in South America to 800 pastors in this big room. Well, through about 20 years, I got invited to South America to speak, but never was 800 pastors involved. Never felt like it was from God. But I got an invitation from Brazil. They said they would pay my way, which was different. Usually people will invite you to come. They want you to pay your way and pay for the event. They were going to handle all of that. And the guy said, we have about 800 to 1,000 pastors going to be at our national conference. I go to Brazil, I get up on the stage to speak, and I look out, and there's 800 to 1,000 pastors, and it's the exact same picture that I was given in that vision 20 years earlier. Yay, God. God knows what He's doing, and God speaks to us if we're willing to obey. God speaks however He wants. You read the Bible. God spoke through handwriting on a wall. That's pretty crazy. He spoke through a donkey. God can speak however He wants. The key is you got to be willing to listen, and you got to be willing to obey. Are you hearing the voice of God? We need to listen, and we need to obey. I'm Dave Earley. I want to help you walk with God. I want to help you listen to God, hear from God, obey God. I want to help you be a disciple. I want to help you make disciples. God bless you.